Hi, mate. Let's look here. Zen, long term. Um, well, it's not actually looking too bad. Doesn't mean we can't go lower. We definitely could have another swing lower. Um, what I often like to see is, well, what we're actually seeing. To be honest, even pretend that I'll make that red just so there's no confusion. See these moving averages? They are curling and curling around. That is what you want to see after a long drop. You want to see this base. Um, if you're buying for long term, like I always say, that you need to be willing to add lower. If you're buying long term, you want to be DCA, and um, it's never good to go all in just for a start. Even if this looked like it was bottomed, it's never usually good to go all in, even though if you've a real hunch it's bottomed. If you went all in there and it came back down to it and got below these lows, you would have to sell your entire position because you're wrong. But it's never worth taking that risk. It's always better to kind of down cost average. So what we want to see is we want to see this round out, these moving averages round out, and then it allows price to safely get back above them. That will be a process, of course. Just want to see what we're down here. Is it not working? What is going on there? Yeah, okay, so down 91% at this point in time, and it was down 94% at the very lows. 94% at the very lows is the same as what Ethereum was doing last time. Now, granted, most small coins did eventually go lower than 94. Well, that's close to 95% there, to be fair. So if there was another flush lower to just below these lows, it would be amazing. It would be an amazing place to be picking some up. Like I often say, depending on the structure and depending on the market, buying below the first major lows can be amazing, right? That can be that can be the real place where you actually want to be loading a boat or whatever. And sometimes people want to see that level reclaimed and then start buying. But if you're willing to take the risk, is buying below these first major lows if we get it. Many coins in the last bear market, they did do that. We had this bounce here, and then we kind of so we had that bounce of 200 to 300%. We topped out, and then we gradually rolled back over to the new lows, and then we moved up into a 3-day apex, for example. We created this large base. Now, I don't mean to draw it way over here to 2026. That's just me drawing it to try and illustrate what happened last time. And it's always very possible that you get stop hunts of these lows before the real move, and that's what market makers like to do. They like to stop everybody out. So that is what I will say. If you had FOMO'd and bought after a couple of 100% bounce here, well, the market rolled over on you last time, and is it going to do that again next time? Well, it's very, very possible. I would suggest, however, that we have put in major lows in the market. Like it would appear at this point in time the market has put in a major low. It doesn't mean it's the exact low, but it would probably mean that a lot of the action over the next year could fall kind of between this range. We could still go higher here, and come back down, but it seems to be that with a major low and we have a major high here in the market, and this is where the market originally broke out from, right here, that this can be a very very powerful resistance point, as you can see here as well. It's still active resistance, but the market will likely be chopping about within this period for a year or for whatever it is. I would suggest, but when you put in a big base, it can lead to the bigger moves. Bigger the base, the bigger the move. So, like at this point, the more we bounce here, the riskier it is to buy. I'm not saying you can't buy a small position here. You could easily buy a small position here if you're long term, and be willing to add lower. Let me just actually look at the yearly here very quickly. Yes, it is a bullish stop hunt on the yearly chart. Oh, wrong thing. No, it's not a bullish stop hunt actually. Yeah. So the price would need to come back down and flip red on a year, or else continue bouncing here and flip red on a new year and come back down to get below that low. But I'm just saying that if we get the opportunity, somewhere here would be an amazing buy. Like, price is going to want to come up and take liquidity in this big red candle somewhere. We'll just guess for right now in the 50% range, right? Is that up there at $30, $36? At some point you would think that price would come back up into that level. There could be spikes through it. If we zoom out here a little bit, or zoom in I should say, into a 3-day weekly chart, there is the case to be made here that it's building a larger head and shoulders pattern, as a base pattern. So this could come up here, we could reject, and by the time we come back down and form the right shoulder, you could break out, retest, and by that time it'll be ready to move into a larger bull market. That there is a case for that. Maybe the low is in, maybe we don't see lows, right? Maybe we don't. But as you can see already, like, the market has based for whatever. We could start to base there. It's last May, June. Well, this is June actually. I think this pivot was in May, but we could probably start it here as you pierce below it. June, it's February already. So 3/4 of a year we've already been basing. The last bear market lasted a year and a half, roughly, as a base. So you can see there, if this keeps filling out, it'll probably be around that year and a half base again before liftoff. So we could be halfway through the bear market here. Coins like Ethereum and stuff, once they put in this first major low, they never came back down and to take it out. They kind of just chopped about within the range for a long time for the year. And then obviously they bounced 15x. Well, Ethereum bounced 15x. But look at the volume here. Definitely nice volume. It looks like somebody is willing to be accumulating down here, whoever that is. Look at the volume right here. Right in here. Somebody accumulated right in here, and look at the big move. Somebody's accumulating here. Somebody's not afraid to accumulate here. But we don't know, will there be new lows or not. But if you're buying, there's no harm in buying a small position in here, and if it goes lower, you could add and build on that position. What I will say is, this has been fairly weak. It's not been a stronger coin. So in the last bear market, the weak coins did go back down to new lows again. They did sell off down to new lows. And so far, I would class this as a weak coin. It's not been very strong. So if history is to repeat, then there's probably a good chance we see new lows on this.